Hi, there is an option in Microsoft Outlook how to clean up folder, and that did not work for me. And I could not find a relative good tutorial, and so I thought I'll just make a video and explain it. There were some posts, and it said that it did not work for me and it didn't do anything. So after research, I found out that actually the purpose of cleanup folder is actually something different. It's not what actually I intended. So for example, I have this folder Amazon, and let me right click on it, and let me click on the clean up this folder. So this is not going to actually delete all the emails from it, or it's not going to use a special criteria just to delete all the emails. It only actually works on the conversation. And conversations are actually threads that there's an email and somebody replies to it and then somebody else replies to it. So it just keeps building a thread and then it becomes really long. So what actually this functionality does, which is the cleanup folder or cleanup conversation, you can actually come here and there are three options over here that you can select. One is cleanup conversation, which actually is really what it does. Cleanup folder is the same thing that is cleaning up the conversation, but it acts on that particular folder. And then cleanup folders and subfolders. So it basically works on any subfolder and the selected folder. So really, the main function is that it cleans up conversation, and conversation is nothing but it's just a thread that, for example, let's say that A sends an email that if A sends an email to a group which contains B, C, and D, and it says that something is broke, and then B replies that what, this is what happened, and then C replies and that says that this is what happened, and then D replies that, oh, you know what, I fixed this. So when B, C, and D replies, the original messages are in that particular email thread. So it just kind of duplication that you have to kind of go through the original messages. So what actually the cleanup folder or cleanup conversation does, it actually leaves all the messages that, in this case, the original message and then all the repetition, and it only keeps the last message in that thread. So I don't think it's really helpful. I mean, it is helpful, but it does not really cleans up the folder. So in my case, for example, here I have, let's say, Amazon, and it has all the orders from Amazon. And for example, I'm not interested in those emails anyways, and I just want to do a cleanup folder on this particular folder. I just want to delete all the emails, but maybe not the ones that are important ones, using some criteria. So it does not really does that. If there is no thread in an email method, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to delete anything. So one thing that you might be careful about this particular functionality is, for example, that there's a thread and then there are people who are actually, contributing from different part of the world. For example, somebody is actually, sending email from, UK, somebody is from Germany, somebody is from Australia, somebody is from, let's say, United States. So all of them has their own timestamp. So, once you delete all their messages, so you're gonna be left with the timestamp which actually is on their local computer, not the one that you got received. So for example, in the example that I mentioned, if there is a message that was sent by A and then B, C, and D replies. So if B is sitting in the UK and C is sitting in Australia, for example, so you're gonna lose all their timestamp because it's gonna show different times. So I think that um, I wish it had that functionality that if somebody had responded in a different time zone, that message should not be deleted because it does contain some vital information. You're going to lose that information, once you delete that email. So keep in mind that it only works on conversation, and it's only going to leave the last message. So if so the message by A, original message, then all the emails are deleted except the last one. So not sure it's gonna be super useful, but this is how it works. So it does not delete or clean up as such. It just removes kind of the duplication. One thing that I want you guys to look at is that when you first fire this up, there's a dialog. It says uh, go to settings, And in the settings, it's going to give you some option. This is the conversation cleanup option. That's really what it does. It cleans up conversation. And in this case, there are like these four options that do not move categorize messages. So categorize messages are these that actually you select a particular category using this particular option. And then do not move flag messages. So if you have flagged a message using this particular functionality, so even if somebody replies to it, that message will not be deleted. Don't move digitally signed messages. This is really, I don't think that anybody signs their messages digitally, but if somebody has signed their messages digitally, that means that that message will not be deleted in the thread. When a reply modifies a message, don't move the original. So if somebody replies to a message and he actually changes the original message, so in that case, that particular message will not be deleted. So this is how it works. It wasn't really intuitive for me. I spent quite a bit of time on it. And in my case, I actually did run on my, official email address, and it removed about 3,000 emails. But I would not actually, I'm not going to put those back in my inbox folder just because, that contains timestamps as well. And, I know that who replies and stuff like that. So yeah, this is how it works. So it does not really delete your folder. I wish there was a functionality that there was certain criteria that you said, for example, you delete all messages that are 7 months that are a week old, for example, or maybe some using some other criteria, for example. And when you do the clean folder or the clean inbox folder, it would leave all the important messages using your criteria. For example, if you have flagged a message or you have assigned a category to a message, it will leave those in, and the rest would be cleaned up. That would be a lot more useful functionality. But this one is just removes duplication, so I'm not sure if it's really, really useful, but this is how it works. So I hope this video was useful to you. Thank you. Also, let me refer you to a quick reference document from Microsoft about what actually conversation cleanup does. So this actually pretty much describes what I've just said. I'll put the link inside the description box. And make sure to watch this video because this is really useful.